Welcome. Today I'm going to do a demonstration of Storage Made Easy. This is intended to be a brief introduction into some of the powerful and robust features of Storage Made Easy. For a detailed demonstration or a comprehensive list of our features, please contact your sales representative or refer to our website at www.storagemadeeasy.com. Some refer to SME as an enterprise-grade Dropbox. SME is primarily used by organizations looking for a private cloud solution installed in the enterprise behind the firewall. However, SME can be deployed in the cloud as a dedicated managed solution, and for smaller organizations, typically under 20 users, we also support true SaaS cloud deployment. In this picture, we show a private cloud deployment. The SME Enterprise File Share and Sync EFSS Gateway is deployed as a software appliance and is VMware OVF compliant. The first thing to point out is that SME can leverage and support over 50 different backend storage solutions. This not only includes cloud storage solutions like S3, Azure, or Google Drive, but also includes legacy or modern object storage solutions that are behind the firewall like your NAS or SAN, your CIFS, OpenStack Swift, or even SharePoint. SME also has support for enterprise applications like Salesforce, Basecamp, and enterprise contact management systems like Documentum and FileNet. The next thing to point out is that SME supports all desktop and mobile devices, including Windows, Mac, Linux, and iOS, Android, Windows, and BlackBerry. As you would expect from an enterprise solution, SME supports single sign-on and Active Directory integration, as well as enterprise-grade audit and governance controls. SME also provides the ability to encrypt data on the wire to any cloud for added security and data protection. SME comes with protocol adapters to provide native S3, FTP, SFTP, or WebDAV access to any of your supported clouds, even if they don't natively support it. In addition, we provide a RESTful API. SME has all of the necessary features to deliver a robust EFSS solution. So let me jump into the demonstration and show you some of those features. In this demonstration, I'm going to start with the web interface and show you our unique web interface design, our approach to folders and permissions, a quick look at user and role management, how to add different storage providers, even private providers like a private Dropbox, and then jump into a detailed look at our collaboration features. After that, I'm going to switch over to our Windows interface and talk about our desktop solution. I will show you SME's map drive capabilities, our unique approach to synchronization, and our Outlook integration. Then I will finish up with a quick look at our iOS iPad application. So let's get started. So what I'm going to do is log in as Tom Hagen at XYZ Co. First thing you'll notice about the file manager is it's structured very much like Windows Explorer. You have folders on the left-hand side. As you click on these folders, you see the subfolders. As you click further down, you go to the other subfolders, and as you go to the next level, you actually see the files. But what's important to note is on the left-hand side here, you'll notice it expands and contracts as a true Windows Explorer tree. Windows Explorer-like tree. So one other thing to point out here is that we have gray folders and regular manila folders. The gray folders are shared team folders. These are folders shared throughout the organization, and these are folders with permissions. This is a very powerful feature within Storage Made Easy, because not only do we support permissions on the higher level folders, but we also support all the permissions for the subfolders. So the higher level folders don't have to have the same permissions as the lower level folders. And what I want to show you here is you'll notice that Tom Hagen has clients Don Vito, Michael, and Sonny. But if I were to turn around and log in as John, you'll notice that John Snow only has access to the Stark family. So, and he has his private documents as well as various projects that John's involved in. So let's go in as an administrator and take a look at this shared permission capability and show you a couple of things. So here I'm logged in as the administrator for XYZ company. I have a lot more options as the administrator. The first option that I have as the administrator is I have a view into all the different storages. I have a view into all the different shared org folders. And I have a lot of menu options. Things like I can view the audit log or the statistics. I can change the look and feel and function of Storage Made Easy for the organization right from these options. I can work with our authorization systems, so have LDAP or Active Directory integration. I can add users. I can modify roles. But what we were talking about is our shared team folders capability. So I can go to my shared team folders area and I can see all of my shared team folders. First thing to note is that the default permission on clients is no access. If I click on the permissions button, however, you'll notice that even though the default is no access, the role sales has read-write access. Now, if I drill down on clients and I go to the subfolders, you'll notice the 6 different subfolders that I have, all having no access as the default access. And then if I go in and I click on Arya Stark, you'll notice that John Snow was given access, read-write access to the folder. And the GA role was given read-write access to the folder. This means that John Snow will be able to see only the folders where he has been given explicit access. If I go to Don Vito, you'll notice that it's a little different. GA, General Administrator, has access, read-write, but Tom Hagen has been given explicit access to the subfolder. So this is a very powerful feature within SME in that it gives you the ability to not only set permissions on the higher level folder, but also the subfolder. Now let's take another look at some of the other things available to the administrator. So we saw that the permissioning on the system is driven not only by users, but also by roles. So let me quickly jump into the roles area and talk a little bit about some nice features within our roles capability. Obviously, these roles can be imported from Active Directory through our Active Directory integration, but we also give you the ability to add additional capabilities to each role. So here I added a GA role, or a General Administrator role, which is basically just a standard member. But what I've done is I've given this GA, General Administrator, the ability to create users, to manage users, and to manage roles. Also to manage shared folders and to view audit logs. So basically it's a basic member with some enhanced administrative capabilities. So if I go to the users area, you'll notice I have all these different users. I have John Snow, who's in sales, and we saw that. We have Kay Adams, who's in HR. We have Ty Lannister, who has 3 roles. He happens to be GA, General Administrator. He's a member, and he's also in the sales group. So Ty has some advanced capabilities, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over there and log in as Ty now. So here I am logged in as Ty Lannister. You'll notice right out of the gate that Ty has access to the clients, but as I pointed out, the general administrator has access to all the different um, clients within the client folder. But you'll notice that Ty doesn't have access to the HR only folder that our administrator could see and only HR could see. Some other differences since we've added those special capabilities to Ty's role as GA is Ty can look at users and manage users, as we pointed out. Ty can manage roles and add new roles if needed. And Ty can see our audit log, and he can run different filters on the audit log to see what's been happening within the system. So he can look for all the downloads that have taken place. So that's pretty much a good view of our web interface design, how we handle folders and permissions, how we handle users and roles. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to our administrator console, and I'm going to show you how to add a new storage provider. So as I mentioned at the beginning, Storage Made Easy supports over 40 different backend providers. The administrator can add any one of these and also make it a default provider. So you see here in the dashboard, as the administrator, I can add a new provider, and I can choose from any of the supported providers that SME supports. In this particular case, I'm going to add an Openstack provider. This is an Openstack instance in my private cloud that I'm going to hook to, so I'm going to add that provider. First thing I need to do is add the Openstack endpoint, then the login name, and the password. And then SME will go out to Openstack and ask me which of the different containers I want to add. And I'm going to add my SME storage XYZ co. And then what SME will do is SME will go out to that storage. It won't transfer any files, but it'll collect all the metadata associated with all the files that are stored within that storage. Then if I go back to the dashboard, I have the option now to take my Openstack files and turn these into the default storage. So I turn them back into the default storage. And then if I go to the file manager now, you'll notice as the administrator that I have the view of both my SME files and my Openstack files. But the key thing to note is now that the Openstack files are the default, all future folders and files that are stored within the storage will be stored within my Openstack instance. What's nice is you can add as many different storage providers as necessary throughout your organization. So I can add my Openstack files, I can add my SME files, I can add my SharePoint files, I can add my S3 files. Another thing to note in the dashboard is that SME also supports backup providers. So if I wanted to create add a new provider, I could also add a backup provider for my Openstack files. And let's say I wanted to make sure that if my Openstack ever happened to go down, I had a way to fail over to, let's say, S3. So go to Amazon S3. If I create a backup provider for my Openstack files in Amazon S3, if my Openstack was ever not available, SME would automatically fail over to Amazon S3. And what's happening is every time a file is written to my Openstack files, it's also written to my Amazon S3. So it's a very advanced feature to create a failover or a DR type backup for your storage providers. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is adding a private provider. This is basically, let's say I want one interface into my files and my different cloud storages. And my organization allows me to add my personal Dropbox to my view. So now let me switch over to John Snow, and let me go out there and add a private provider. So you notice that John Snow has the ability to add a cloud. You can add a private provider. We're allowed to add 2. And I have a choice of what I want to add. So I'm going to add my Dropbox provider. So I can go out there and simply authorize my Dropbox. It'll ask Dropbox if I'm allowed, so I'll authorize that right from my desktop. And then Storage Made Easy will go out to Dropbox and again, not take any of the files, but only take the metadata associated with those files and synchronize those with my view. So now, if I refresh here, you'll notice that I have not only my shared org folders, but I also have my Dropbox files. And if I expand these as they're imported, I have my documents, my photos, videos, and I can continue to drill down and see the various files that I have available to me privately within my Dropbox files. So now let's go to the next level and let's talk about all the different collaboration features available to users of Storage Made Easy. Storage Made Easy supports many different functions at the file level. So let me right-click here and show you all of those. The first one I like to point out is we have the ability to download the file, obviously, to your desktop. We can, on the fly, open it in an MS Office. From the cloud, we can view it in Google Docs, editing collaboration via Zoho. And these are all options that you can either add or not. You can make it a favorite file, so we kind of tag it there. We can also tag a file so that we keep certain files together. We provide group sharing, which I'll talk about a little later. We provide the ability to comment on a file, which is very powerful. So I can comment on this file and say this, needs an update. And this comment stays with this document, and you can continue to add different comments to it. You can even take a full view and see everything that's happened to it. You can see it in a full view, and other people can add comments associated with this in a collaborative manner. So you can continue to change and update this file and the comments associated with it. One of the most powerful features within the product is our ability to generate a shared link. These are secure shared links that you can set expiration on and also passwords. So like last 4 of the social or whatever you'd like to set. Generate the new link and you can copy it. You can copy and paste it into an email, onto a website, or just into the browser area. You're given a page to see if you want to download. You can download. And then it goes through and downloads the file. Now this feature flows throughout the entire product. So this is available not only from the web, but we also have this ability available on the Windows desktop and all of the mobile clients. So Windows, Mac, Linux, and all of the mobile clients. Finally, the last feature is the ability to share information other than via a shared link outside the organization. So Storage Made Easy has a unique capability of providing group sharing. So you can go out and you can create groups that you share information with that are outside the organization. So the way to do this is to add a group, and let's call it the 5 families. All members can submit in this 5 families. And it's a private group, so no one else can see who the other group members are. So in there, we have the 5 families. And now we can start inviting people. So I have the 5 families. So the first person I want to invite is Clemenza. From Jon Snow. And his email address is clemenza@abc.com. And then I can invite him. And so this will get sent out, and Clemenza will get invited to this group. So now let's say I want to start sharing information with this group. So all I do is go to the file manager. I can go to John's documents, and I want to share taking back control of Cloud Sprawl with the group. So I just simply click on group sharing, share the file with the 5 families. And we can also take project 1 and we can share all of these from this folder with the group. So now, if I go to groups and I go to 5 families, you can see all the information that's being shared here and all the different members, but you would only see me. So anyone who has access to this group would be able to see this information and act on this information without having to be part of this organization that we're looking at. So now I've taken you through our web interface design and the uniqueness of that, taking you through our folders and permissions. I've taken you through our users and roles capability. I've showed you how to add both private and public storage providers. Finally, showed you all of our various collaboration features. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into our Windows interface and show you our map drive capabilities, our folder level synchronization, and our Outlook integration. Okay, here I am in my Windows 7 desktop. I've installed Storage Made Easy, and I've logged in as John at XYZ Co. First thing I'd like to point out is if I go to my Windows Explorer, I can scroll down, and right here is a map drive to my cloud storage. This acts just like any other map drive on my computer, actually any other drive for that matter, on my computer. And I can drill down and take a look at whatever I have access to. One of the things you'll notice is if I go to my clients folder, Jon Snow only had access to these 3 folders. So all the permissions are carried through right down to the desktop. If I continue down and select one of these documents to edit, SME will go to the cloud and open it just as if it were on my desktop. Now I can turn around, I can make changes here and X out of it, and Windows will ask me, do I want to save it? And I can save it, and SME's map drive will just save it to the internet, save it to the cloud, wherever it's stored, as if it were stored on my desktop. The next thing to discuss is cloud synchronization. Now, many cloud providers are out there, and they provide synchronization down to the desktop. However, Storage Made Easy has a unique approach that you may want to take advantage of. So Storage Made Easy provides a cloud sync folder in which you can sync all of your folders to this area. But in addition, Storage Made Easy provides this concept of folder-to-folder synchronization. So let me show you this. So I can add a new sync pair. On the local folder, I may want to add one of my clients. So let's see, I'll go to my documents and let me create a new folder. And I'll call this Arya Stark because I'm working actively with her. So I say OK. And so now I'm going to synchronize on my desktop the Arya Stark folder with, if I go to the cloud, my Arya Stark folder in the cloud. I can decide how often I want to synchronize this. I can choose the type of synchronization I want. So I'm going to say often, every 15 minutes. And boom. Now what I've done is I've added a new sync pair that'll sync one folder called Arya Stark with the Arya Stark folder in the cloud. This gives me this granular capability of synchronization that's often not found in other products. And I can manually start the sync and the files will be synchronized down to the local folder. And if I ever go offline, I can update those, and then once I've reconnected, it'll resynchronize those to the cloud. But those are two interesting methods for organizations to take advantage of connecting their data in the cloud. We both have the map drive, which most enterprises are used to, with a shared file server, and our cloud synchronization, both at a one-to-many, a cloud sync folder to many of folders, or a one-to-one folder-to-folder synchronization. The last thing I wanted to show was our Outlook integration. SME provides direct integration into your Outlook mail system through an Outlook plugin. Basically, we allow you to, when installed, go directly to the cloud right from Outlook and be able to add documents to your email, complete with expiration and password. And right from Outlook, we're able to quickly add both any file from the cloud directly to your email messages without having to send the full file through the Exchange server, taking up precious space and the like. So that's a summary of our Windows capabilities. Next, what I'm going to do is quickly show you our iOS interface. First, I'm going to go to my Storage Made Easy, where I'll log in as John Snow. So now I've logged in as John Snow, and you'll notice I have my cloud files. I have my clients. I have my 3 clients that I had before. I also have my Dropbox files that I've added, as well as the various shared org or shared team folders that I had access to before. In these files, I have all the similar kind of capabilities available to me. So I can quickly take my SME features doc, I can share it, I can get a URL, I can set an expiration, I can set a password, create the URL, and then this gets added to my Pastebook, and I can copy it or use it anywhere I want. We also have the ability to straight email a file from here. In addition, we have the ability to view any of these, so I can quickly open this to view it right here from the desktop, right from my iOS device. And I can step through this. I can even add annotations from the iOS right here if I need to. Some advanced settings, we can even choose cloud providers right from the iOS device. And we can also set up folder syncs. So I can go to my clouds and I can say, ooh, I want to make sure that my client Ned Stark is available to me on my iOS device in a local folder. So the way I would do that is I would add to sync folders. And then all I do is go to folder sync and synchronize now with the server. And it'll go out and start synchronization and synchronize these folders with the server. Now that the folders are synchronized, I can right from here go and access the different folders. I can take a quick look at them. I can view them right here locally on my iOS device. So that's some of the features of the iPad application, which is almost identical to the iPhone application. We also support Android, BlackBerry, and Windows Mobile as well. So thank you. I hope this was informative. We've taken you through most of the product. But like I said, if you are looking for a full demo or a full feature set, please feel free to contact your sales representative or look us up on www.storagemadeeasy.com. Thank you.